Hey there, Parallaxians. In this tiny tutorial, I want to talk to you about the PIR sensor. This is a sensor that detects motion by sensing changes in infrared levels within its surroundings for up to 30 feet. For example, if a person walks into the sensor's path, the PIR will detect a change in radiant heat emitted by that person and will send an output signal indicating that it has detected motion within its range. And its range is it's about 90 degrees, and it's from left to right. Okay, so let's build a basic circuit and block code needed to test and verify that the sensor is working the way that it should. Okay. So one of my favorite ways of getting to schematics or example code that I need for specific sensors is by going to the Blockly webpage and then going up here into the help menu, then choosing Activity Board WX reference, and here are a list of all my blocks. I'm interested in the sensor blocks, specifically the PIR. Okay, so this page takes us to the PIR blocks. There's only one block for the PIR, but what I'm interested in at the moment is the wiring example. So here is an illustration of a schematic, and there's a picture of what it should look like after you build it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and build this on camera so you guys can see how it's done. Let's start building the schematic or the circuit. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to insert my PIR sensor into the board, like this. And I'm going to go ahead and the first pin I'm going to do is the output pin, which looks like it's connected to pin 5 through a 220 ohm resistor. So I'm going to grab my resistor connected to pin 5. And I'm going to put a jumper wire from the resistor to the output pin of the PIR sensor. I'm going to move this out of camera for a second. Okay. So I got my resistor connected to pin 5, and then it's jumpered over to the PIR sensor's output pin with that yellow wire. And the only other two connections left are ground and 5 volts. So the 5 volt connection is right here in the center. Put that at 3.3 volts as it shows in the schematic. And the only other pin left is ground. And I'm going to jumper a wire from ground on the PIR to ground on the activity board. And those are my connections. So this is the very basic connection for powering up and controlling or getting the logic from the PIR sensor. Okay, so if we scroll further down in the tutorial, we'll find the testing code. So this block code allows you to test and verify that the sensor is working the way that it should. And what we should be seeing once we load this code is we should be seeing a 1 output on the terminal when the PIR detects motion, and when it does not detect motion, we should be seeing a 0 on the terminal. So I'm going to go ahead and load this. I have mine built here. I'm going to go ahead and load it onto my board. And so what I should be, so right now it's saying, okay, so now it changed state. So it's saying it detected motion. And it should go back to 0 here in a few seconds. There it goes. That means it did not detect motion. So let me put my hand in front of it and see if it detects motion. There it goes. And also, one thing I forgot to mention is that there's a red LED inside the dome inside here of the PIR sensor that turns red when it detects motion as well. Um, these sensors, when you first turn them on, it takes them about 30 seconds to get acclimated with its surroundings. So it has sort of a warm up period. But once that's done, it will trigger. Once it detects motion, it will trigger, stay on for about 3 seconds, and then it will turn back off. Okay, so here is the custom project. It's going to be called PIR Intruder Alert, and you could use this type of project for monitoring when somebody walks into your room. You can use it to monitor a window or maybe a doggy door, things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and load this program into the board, and what you should be seeing, it's going to take about 20 seconds for it to warm up, but then after that, the PIR should be triggered, and you should be seeing the red LED flash along with the piezo speaker sounding off. So I'm going to go ahead and load that onto my board. So we're going to wait about 20 seconds. And just to kind of briefly go over the additional parts that I've added an LED, and I've also added a piezo speaker. So the piezo speaker, I have it connected to pin 4, and it's connected by this blue wire here, going into the positive side of the piezo speaker. And on the other end, the only other post on this piezo speaker connects to ground. And I could have taken this wire all the way over here to ground this connection over here, but I didn't have a jumper wire long enough, so I just kept it right here. I just have the PIR and the piezo sharing the ground. The other component I have here is then an LED, and I have my LED connected to pin 2, and it's connected through a 470 ohm resistor going into the longer lead of the LED and out the shorter lead and going to ground. So that's very important. The orientation of the LED is very important. The longer lead is the positive lead, and what connects to power or this input here. Okay, so it looks like it's warmed up already, and so what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to trigger it, by placing my hand in front of it and having it sound off, and hopefully it does what it's supposed to do. If not, we're going to have some troubleshooting to do. Here we go. And that's exactly what I wanted to see. We got the red LED. We got the red LED here going on, turning on, and we have the red LED that we put in flashing, and the piezo speaker also sounding off. And over here on our left, we have this intruder alert. Alert. Okay, so it looks like it's working the way it should. Okay, so I want to go over the block program really quick. And so what I've got here is I have a warning or just a message to the user, letting them know that there's about 20, maybe sometimes 30 seconds of warm-up time before the PIR can actually start working the way that it should. And so here I have my 20-second pause. In practice, it usually takes for me about 20 seconds, sometimes less, but it can be up to 30 seconds, and each PIR sensor is going to be different, and its surroundings are also going to influence how long it's going to take. So once I put this text on the screen on the terminal, I will then wait 20 seconds, and then I'm going to clear out the screen, and then I'm gonna probe the input pin, pin 5, to see when I get a high or a 1. Once this block receives a 1 from the PIR sensor, it will then place it into this variable. And right in here, this variable is being compared to 1. So once the PIR variable is 1 and it's equal to 1, it will then go into this loop right here, this if condition. At this point, a new cog will be launched, and the LED will start blinking red, and there'll be this loop here, the intruder alert loop, and then the piezo speaker will also sound off. So, and there is a tutorial called, see if I can find it, BlocklyProp functions and multicore. So that covers how to create this, how to use this new processor function and this function over here. And before we conclude, I just wanted to mention that this wire here, right here, going from ground to the select pin, that one is not for you. That's you can leave that out in your circuit. That's just something I had to do on my end, but you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so this concludes our video. So if you have any questions about this project or any aspects of it, please feel free to contact me. My name is Miguel, and my email is support@parallax.com, or you can call me at 916-624-8333. Okay, thanks for watching.